Hey there, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us once again. If you did come to the first session on Tuesday and you decided you wanted a bit more info on Ignition and how we can help with making tax digital in the coming financial year. If it's your first time joining us, then welcome. What you can expect from today is a really quick run through of how to engage or re-engage clients for MTD, as well as how to use Ignition really effectively to do that. It'd be great if you're in the chat and you can pop in just your name and where you're logging in from. It's always great to see the range of people that we get at these webinars. There is also a poll which you hopefully have just seen pop up on your screen. It'd be great to know as well, like how much you know about Ignition already, whether you're already a user, whether you've never heard of us before and you thought, hey, it sounds interesting. Great, I can see we've already got a user in the chat. And as well, if you're sort of on the fence considering it for your firm, but you're not quite sure what it does, it'd be great to know if that's why you're joining today. We will shortly get started. Also, I will direct your attention towards the chat. So if you want to pop your sort of name and where you're calling from in there, but there's also a Q&A section. So if you've got any questions, please pop those in there, and then we can run through any questions we have at the end. And we'd like to keep it separate from the chat, just so it's really easy to help identify those specific questions there, so they don't get lost if there's lots of chat going on. But without further ado, so hopefully by this point, you've realized that I'm Otis van Doren. I'm one of the practice specialists here at Ignition. And my job is really quite straightforward. It's helping firms to understand how they could use Ignition, perhaps some different use cases for the product, as well as giving general advice on how best to run a practice and engage clients. What I will say, just a bit of housekeeping, is that today's session is being recorded and a copy will be sent to you. So if you've only joined halfway through, or you have to jump off before the end, or you couldn't quite make it today, that's absolutely fine. You will have a chance to catch up on the session at a later date. And then we've already run through the live chat and Q&A as well there. So just a little bit about engaging clients for MTD and a bit about direct debit billing, which we're very big on here at Ignition. You would have seen Jack run through this slide on Tuesday, but I think it's really good to remind ourselves why we're engaging clients for MTD and how direct debit billing can help. So the first point on that list there is scope creep. I know the nature of the work that you do is always likely to change, and actually just engaging your clients properly gives you the opportunity to be really clear as to what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, and avoid any of that sort of awkwardness or grey area that can often pop up when clients, fair enough, aren't 100% clear on what they're going to be receiving from you. Number two, obviously very important, remaining compliant. The terms with which you engage, or clients engage you, I should say, are going to change with MTD. So it's really important to re-engage with updated terms to protect yourself in the event of any disputes or problems along the way. And it's also useful to pop in a bit about pricing and inflationary changes there, fair changes, of course, to help you, not lose out in the race against inflation as prices and costs increase year on year. When it comes to protecting cash flow, what we found and what a lot of Ignition users have found is that re-engagement provides you with a great opportunity to actually put your clients onto a monthly or quarterly, but at least a regular direct debit or billing structure. And I'm going to show you some of the ways that you can do that, or how you can use Ignition to do that a bit later on in the session. Now, re-engaging those clients also creates upsell opportunities. I know that clients aren't always 100% clear on exactly what they need or what they should be going for. So actually giving them the option to maybe opt for a different package than they would otherwise go for, that you would otherwise quote, as well as the opportunity to add on, extra protection or training add-ons, really helps you upsell and increase revenue whilst keeping clients as happy as possible. Now, One of the most important things when it comes to engaging clients is actually keeping them educated. So you can use this, you can use like videos or specific guides embedded in the Ignition proposal itself, for instance, to actually educate them a bit about what to expect and what you'll be doing for them over this time, because it's new for them as well. And vitally, engaging digitally. I've spoken to plenty of firms who still print off PDFs of proposals, send things via letter, get things printed off and wet signed in the office. Really, it's just not the most efficient way of doing things. You want to try and be moving to like a digital first engagement channel, and it sets the right tone for the client relationship and gives you flexibility to amend things easily at your end as things change inevitably over time. So that's just a little bit about why we do what we do and how Ignition can, or teases how Ignition can help you do that, which I'll touch on a bit later. So what you're looking at now is the full Ignition platform overview. And you can see that I've starred capture and qualify leads and manage the sales pipeline there, just because I'm actually going to touch on these in a bit more detail before we move on. But what you can see is that we do those first 2 points, and then if you know anything about Ignition, you'll know that we sort of send proposals and contracts. You can collect client info, send invoices, and automate all your billing through Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, whichever ledger tool you're using. And you can also use Ignition to actually collect payments as well. So really shoring up the cash flow of the business whilst also engaging and setting up like a billing cadence for each client. Now, up there as well is billing for out of scope work. A big issue that a lot of people I speak to run into is just free work getting done. Client will phone you up, and what you think is a 5-minute chat ends up being a 45-minute chat. Maybe they'll ask you to write a letter of recommendation for them, all these little things. And it can almost be like death by 1,000 cuts, where you sort of take a look back at the week and you go, hold on, I didn't really get any work done because I just spent all my time speaking to clients, and well, maybe the process for billing them is a bit long and awkward, and we never really discussed what they would pay for in this particular scenario. So setting that out really clearly at the start, and then having a way to just instantly fire off an invoice for agreed extra work, that really helps set the tone and again educate them on what to expect from you, because I think all experienced some clients who you give an inch to and they may try and take a mile there. Then the final point is just renewing agreements. It's really easy to do this in Ignition, and you can do this in bulk with price updates every month, end of every financial year, whatever suits you. And it's just a way of A, re-engaging your clients to keep yourself compliant, and B, having sort of a natural moment to, I suppose, review prices, review the agreement you've got, and maybe amend it to suit both your needs better. So on the subject of capturing data, one of the big requests that we kept getting from Ignition customers is to add in a way of collecting data. Now, if you've ever used Microsoft Forms, Google Forms, Ignition Forms are very similar to that, except all the data immediately flows into the Ignition platform and is associated to a client if you send it out to the client directly. But what you can also do is create a form and post a more generic link on your website. And if anyone fills in that form, they can actually immediately be put into what we call our deals pipeline. And this is like a very straightforward Kanban view, which really helps you manage exactly what's going on and which deals are associated to who in your team, the value of those deals. And importantly, it means that you're not going to forget about any proposals you've sent out. And again, one of the issues I sort of hear a lot of prospective new Ignition customers talking about is that they've sent out a proposal, they've maybe not heard back from a client for about 3 or 4 weeks, and they sort of can't really remember exactly what was going on, what they sent them. They've got to trawl through emails and Word docs to find it. What actually deals can do for you in Ignition is give you a really clear idea of exactly who you should be following up with. It's going to alert you when it's sort of enough time has passed to say, hey, maybe Otis, we should be looking at this one more time. And I've worked in business development for years. Having a clear view of sort of pre-sales clients is vitally important for actually winning those deals. And who doesn't want to win new clients, right? So that's what I'm going to touch on, and I will also go into how we can send out an MTD proposal really easily in Ignition and what that would look like. So let's take a look. And for those of you who joined us on Tuesday, you saw that I had absolutely no idea how to switch between tabs, but hopefully we've just had a seamless transition. Brilliant. So here we can see the Ignition back office. Now, what I spoke about first was forms. We're not going to spend too much time on this dashboard here on the Home tab. But if we go over here to left where forms are, we can see we've got a list or little form list of library of forms to send, how many people we've sent it to. And these are really easy to create and send. You just click new form up there. It's basically idiot proof, this process. One of the ones I like to use is collecting new client information for new leads. I can see I've sent it 14 times. And this is actually what I'm speaking about. I can just click share, copy it, and share a public link on my website to capture new leads there. So if I post that on the website, anyone who fills that in, I'll get basic details from, and then I will also, if I preview the questions, get answers to all these questions here. We can see we've got a mix of text, short text, long text, radio buttons. You can set this up however you want to capture the information that's important to you. Now, if anyone fills in this form, what will immediately happen is they will land in this deals pipeline here. And this is a fantastic add-on to Ignition lately. It's only, £39 a month. It can be free if you're on the Pro Plus plan. But I'd really recommend it if it's not a free add-on as part of your plan or a plan that might suit you. I mean, if you think about it, it's, I think, £480 a year. And, for less than £500, you are giving yourself the opportunity to actually win new clients and follow up on ones you may have forgotten about. Even if it wins you perhaps 1 or 2 clients a year, it will have paid for yourself. So at the moment, you'll also see a little prompt popping up on the screen. If you do want to learn a bit more about Ignition and maybe have me run you through this in real time and a one-on-one setting, then just click that button that you see on the screen there. So on the subject of this deals page here, we can see that anyone who's just arrived and filled in that form falls in this new leads section here. And then you can just move them, drag across and drop them Kanban style to each of these stages here. These stages are completely customizable. You go into pipeline settings, you can rename them, shift them around, and you can also say when to notify you after X number of days in activity. Now, what we've got here is also a way to allocate deals to specific people and sort of assign them by priority. We can see if we go up to filters here, go to priority. If I want to look at all my, hot deals, I can filter out all the hot deals here, which are high priority. Bayside Club, Basket Shop, and XYZ Limited. What I can also do is look at the owner and I say, hey, I just want to look at everything that my staff member business development, Ben, is working on and say, okay, Ben, look at this. We've got a proposal sent to Cool Company. It's been 16 days. We've not heard back from them. Could you actually take a look at them? And we can actually alert Ben of that in the system itself. Go down to notes here, type, if I can spell, it'd be good, at Ben, please look into this. Save. Ben's going to get a notification in his Ignition account, and he's going to take a look at that for us. A really, really good way to help manage all our new sales that are coming in. Now, let's say from this view, we want to send a proposal out for MTD for Basket Shop. We can see that we've not sent anything yet. There's no proposal attached like we have here for XYZ. So let's just go new proposal. Click this button here. What this does is it takes us straight into our proposal building tool. It's really straightforward. You have general terms, services you'll provide, and how and when to charge them, how you'll take payments, the terms, presentation, and then send. You can do that every time. I wouldn't recommend it because it's really easy just to create templates in Ignition, which basically do this all for you. And you can just pull out the hat, Blue Peter style. Here's one I made earlier each time. So I've done one. Just click templates up there. I've done one for MTD. You can just search by MTD. And I will say that on the left are some of the templates I've created, but Ignition gives you loads of templates to work with and play around with. So if you find one that you sort of like, but you want to adapt it slightly, just click this, amend it yourself, and then save it as a new template. It's that easy to do. And once you've done a couple of these yourself, they're really easy to knock out in about 5 minutes. So this particular example I want to use, I will use this template here. And then rather than run you through like the back office side of things, I'm actually just going to show you what the client would see themselves. So I'm going to go straight to send. Rather than send via email, I'm just going to move to awaiting. And then this will give me the client view here. So obviously it's going to be all branded with your branding. This is our little bookkeeping firm that we've made up, Busy Bee. And now we're in the client view of this MTD proposal. You know, that's a template we made. Well, I literally made this morning before this webinar, and now I can just use it every single time I want to send out an MTD proposal. I will say that I'm not limited to exactly what's in the template. Each time I use it, I have the option to adjust it slightly. So it's fully flexible, but it means that 99% of the work you did, 2 weeks ago when you made the template. Now, good reminder for myself to make sure I switch tabs. So this is actually the proposal that the client would see. Now, again, fully branded up with your logos. And what you can do is actually embed a video at the start here. I won't play it. But yeah, you can have a little welcome video running the client through exactly what to expect, and a little welcome message, again, from yourself or whoever you want in the team, which really runs them through exactly what you've spoken about already, perhaps on a call, but what to expect in this proposal that they're going to see. Now, this is completely free text. You can write a template once, use it over and over again. It's completely up to you how you want to use that, but it's a good way to introduce clients to what they're seeing, perhaps for the first time, and what to expect going on. And it's a great way for them to see your face because they may not have done up until this point. So it helps to humanize the relationship there a lot as well. To further do that, you can actually add a brochure to the proposal. Again, this is a great way to introduce the team to the people who are going to be working on their finances, who, again, they may never have met before. And actually adding levels of personalization, what we found in Ignition, customers in our system who do add more personalization not only win more deals, but they close those deals faster. So it's something I'd really, really recommend. And if you don't have a brochure yourself and you'd like one made, then it's part of the service that we offer here at Ignition. So I'd really, really recommend, if you do want to try out Ignition, take us up on that service. Now, the fun part is these 3 options here for MTD. Now we've got a light package, a standard package, and an enhanced package. And this gives clients the flexibility to choose the one that's best for them. Maybe if your default was just the standard package, you might be pricing out some of those clients who feel they don't need quite as much. Or if, light is your standard package, you can then upsell into standard and enhanced, as well as having add-ons for, even more revenue, which is great. So we give an idea of exactly what to expect in each of these packages with a little blurb here, and we can also recommend one. And what we've seen from click tracing in Ignition is that just north of 50% of people, when they have multiple options in front of them, will choose the recommended option. So don't fight the numbers. Let's go with this one. And we get a really clear breakdown of exactly what services are going to be included here. So we've got the enhanced package, a breakdown of the deliverables there, software subscription, quarterly filings, final declaration, bookkeeping services, 9-to-5 support, etc. What's really important and useful about this page for you is that it's going to be completely eliminating that gray area or confusion between yourself and your clients, because they're really clear on exactly what they're going to get from you and when. And we can see that we've titled this for the next financial year. Now, what's really useful for these proposals and for upselling new services is being able to offer add-ons. So we can see here on the next page, if you've got add-ons you want to add on, that you can just surface these after the core services. So again, Mr. Client has a really clear idea of exactly what to expect, and they can make an informed decision on what they want. And perhaps you can recommend that they, go for this fee protection if it's something that's important to them in their specific case. So let's say they choose to add this on. They'll get a really clear breakdown of the pricing. Now, when they're going to pay and how much they'll pay. So £200 plus VAT billed every month, starting from 6th of April 2026 when they agreed to this proposal. We've got all the services listed here. And what does a lot of heavy lifting in the Ignition platform is actually this next page here, the payment page. So when we have lots of new clients coming in through the door and we need to engage them all, maybe we haven't built up that level of trust as we have with some of our other more established customers or clients. What you can do is you can actually collect payment details up front, meaning that the client can, fill in their card details, their Google Pay details, set up a direct debit. And this means that you're going to make sure that you're actually getting the cash in once the client has accepted your services. Now, I know that there's a lot of firms out there who are really upfront about what services they're going to provide, when their client will see those benefits, but they never actually ask the client to be upfront about how they'll pay in return. So sometimes they can end up raising invoices themselves, chasing them themselves. County court judgments might come in a worst case scenario. It's just a lot of extra headache for small amounts of money in a lot of cases, but it does add up. So using this step, and this is actually a step you can make compulsory when you set up your engagement letter or proposal template, I should say. And making it compulsory means you're definitely going to at least collect payment details there. And then Ignition can set up a billing cadence, take payments automatically, and mark invoices as paid in Xero, QuickBooks, Sage, whatever you're using at the moment. So say client adds in their payment details there. The next thing is for them to sign their engagement letter. This is all embedded in Ignition, meaning it's just one workflow to get this whole thing signed off for the client, which again, lower friction, means they're more likely to do it. And we can see that Mary Munn's details have been added in there. So each of these engagement letters is going to be personalized to the client. And it's not just their personal details which are personalized, but actually the services themselves are also going to be personalized. What I mean by that is that it's not just one long engagement letter covering absolutely everything we could possibly offer, even if it's not services the client's engaging us for. It's just our core terms, which everyone needs to receive as a minimum, plus service-specific terms based on these services that they've engaged us for. So it's going to be as brief as possible and as relevant as possible to the clients, which again helps speed up the closing of new clients and winning new deals, right? They read through that. All they have to do is click accept, type in their name, and then click accept down here. As soon as they do that, hey, great news, proposal accepted. You're going to get an email saying Mary's signed up. The billing schedule is going to be created for you. It's going to link to whatever general ledger tool you've connected to Ignition. And then from there, you can direct the clients to booking a call with you, maybe check out the client portal, check out your FAQ. This is all just free text on the screen. You can have it say whatever you want. You can also embed another video in there for extra personalization, maybe tell them what to expect going forward. And really, really helps sort of capture their attention. If you need them to do another thing after signing the proposal, you can just link it here and get them to and catch them while they're thinking about it, and think in that mode where they go, right, I'm signing something, need to pay attention. Yeah, let's move on to the next thing now. So hopefully that has run us through exactly what it looks like, going from initial lead capture through the sales pipeline, sending proposals, automating all of this and collecting payments. Now, I'm not going to touch on out-of-scope work or renewing agreements on this webinar today, but if you do want to speak to us about that or find out a little bit more about what that next part of the process looks like, just get in touch. And there's a button on the screen now to start a free trial. You can play around with the free trial if you want. And if you want us to show you around the trial and your trial environment, show us how your account could look in future, just let us know. More than happy to do that. Now, if I jump through, so that's basically the end of the product session today. Is there anything in the Q&A. I'm not sure there is. So I'll move on to a final request from me, really. One of the pieces of work that Ignition is doing at the moment is trying to create a report for UK accounting firms on benchmarking prices that they are charging in the market. And what this will let us do is create an original piece of data, which we obviously share with everyone who's taken part and been happy to provide us the information that we need. But it's going to help you benchmark your prices against those of competitors or peers in the market across the UK. And that's one of the biggest sort of question marks that I hear when I'm speaking to firms is that, hey, we've got this list of prices and services, but we don't really know how accurate the prices are. So what we're trying to do is provide a piece of literature which can really help you understand exactly what you should be charging. I will say that if you are an Ignition customer, then an account manager who've worked with about 1,000 different customers across the UK are really good at giving you an estimate on exactly what you should be charging and how to structure these packages, structure add-ons, how to really get the most bang for your buck from your client engagement. So if you want to scan that QR code on the screen now, that will take you to a little anonymous survey. It takes 5 minutes to fill out, and it'd be a great help to us and to yourself and your peers if you did. Other than that, thank you so much for coming along. If you want to get in touch with me, we'll be sending you out a quick email after this thanking you for your attendance, and we'll obviously share the recording with you. But if you do want to get in touch with myself or one of the other team, then just click one of those buttons that you see on the screen there to call me to learn out more or send me a free trial link, and we'll obviously follow up with you and make sure that you have the support and the help that you need. Other than that, thank you so much for coming along. Have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. And if you're not a customer yet, hopefully we'll be able to have a chat with you soon because we're always here to help. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.